I unboxed the Chinese Redmi Note 8 Pro a while back, but the Indian variant does come with a few important changes. And hey, I got my hands on the big box. So in today's video, let's go ahead, get this unboxed and see what those changes are. Hey guys, Ash here from C4Retech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, please don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. So this is that big box I was talking about. It's got big green Redmi Note 8 Pro branding up front, sliding it out, and inside we've got this neon green translucent plastic. Now this plastic slides to the sides and that gives us access to the retail box. Let's pull it out, removing that lid. Now these are the regulars. The first box, it contains the SIM ejector tool, the leaflets, your warranty card, user guide. Then we have a transparent soft case. Let's set that to the side, see what else is there in the box. Redmi has included an 18-watt charger here, so glad to see the quick charger come in the box. That's not been cut for the Indian variant. I was kind of worried that it would be cut. That's not cut, so that's good. And then there is a USB Type-C cable. Moving on, we've got this Mi logo on an acrylic bar. That's just for show. I'm going to be using that for some samples. Now, did you notice we've gone through the box and we've not got into the phone yet? Be honest, did you actually notice that? Or are you so used to unboxings that you kind of missed the part that there was no phone unboxed yet? Anyway, the reason that the Note 8 Pro wasn't in the box is because it's already been taken out of the box and placed here to the side. Now taking it out of the protective plastic cover, again it's the same pearl white variant, the same color as the Chinese one that we have. Peeling the stickers from the back and the protective plastic from the front. Try to turn it on, no juice, so setting it aside. Next up, there's a box which says macro photography tools. These are actually props, so let's start with them. Now guys, this over here, this is macro side by side with the regular camera, so that would kind of give you a perspective of how these tiny things actually look bigger. Is it just to increase the camera count, or is it an extra nice option, a different perspective to have? Me personally, I feel it's a nice perspective to have, but some people do feel it's just another camera sensor to add to the count. So where do you fall? What do you feel? Here's a poll, let me know. Now one major change from the Chinese variant is that tray, where we got a hybrid slot with the Chinese variant. The Indian variant gets dedicated micro SD support, so we don't have to choose between micro SD or a secondary SIM. Now in India, the land of Jio, of course, a lot of us have secondary SIM cards. Now this is definitely a pro. Now one more area of concern with the unboxing for me was, again, like I said, if the 18-watt charger was going to be included, we've seen that is included. Now the other one was NFC. Sadly, Redmi continues the trend of removing NFC for the Indian launches. So the NFC is gone here on the Indian Redmi Note 8 Pro. We already saw this happen with the Mi A3, and I was kind of hoping history didn't repeat itself, but sadly no NFC. Now Redmi's take on this is that in markets like China and Europe, NFC is needed for payments. It's not quite as popular in India, so they went ahead and removed it. Now that's not totally untrue, so let's see. You guys tell me, do you use NFC? Is it something that you definitely want in a phone? Is the removal of NFC a deal breaker for you? I mean, what do you actually use NFC for? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I use NFC mostly to actually pair my Bose QC35 headphones. It's easy, tap, pair, done. It's not like Bluetooth pairing is difficult or anything. It's just convenience. Anyway, moving on, that's pretty much the only thing the Indian variant doesn't get. But the Indian variant, apart from that micro SD support, the dedicated micro SD support, it also gets a couple of other really good additions, one of which is Widevine L1. Now, if you've seen my unboxing of the Chinese Redmi Note 8 Pro, Redmi has got that beautiful 6.53-inch IPS LCD panel here. The resolution is Full HD+, so it's pretty sharp. The notch is quite tiny and unobtrusive, and this display is covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5 for protection. The quality of the panel, That's excellent. It has good accurate whites, pumped up colors and excellent viewing angles. It gets quite bright too. 500 nits is what Redmi is claiming, and I have no reason to doubt it since I've had little trouble using it outdoors. While all this was great, the one con with the Chinese variant was that it did not have support for wideband L1. It came with wideband L3, so we couldn't really stream HD content via apps like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Now, that is not what's happening here. There is wideband L1 support, and this is what I had to say in that video. Now, this Chinese variant, it does not come with wideband L1 certification, but that's not something to be worried about. It's not uncommon for Redmi to sell phones in China without wideband L1, but added to global or Indian launches. And as expected, wideband L1 certification is now present here, and streaming HD content via apps like Netflix and Amazon Prime should be no issue. Talking about Amazon Prime, Amazon Alexa integration is built into the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Thanks to the chip inside, the Note 8 Pro can also wake with Alexa or Google Voice commands. Talking about Google, there's Google Lens integration built into the camera app too. The camera itself is supposed to have been tweaked for the Indian market, but honestly, I didn't notice much of a difference here. The Chinese variant was pretty good, and this one remains good too, so I'm not complaining or anything. Anyway, talking about the camera, a quick refresher here. The primary is a 64 megapixel sensor. It's paired with an f1.8 lens, and as you can see, it manages to get some nice pictures. For those curious, this is Samsung's Isocell Bright GW1 sensor, and it shoots 16 megapixels by default. Switching to the 64 megapixel mode does bring out a little bit extra detail. There is a 2 megapixel depth sensor that also allows for portrait shots like this. It does reasonably well with depth detection. For low light, we have a dedicated night mode, and here are some samples. Guys, my full review, it's in progress. I'm almost done with it. I should have it out in a couple of days, so I will talk a lot about that, the low light performance, the wide angle camera, videos, selfies, and everything else in that video. So I'm not gonna really waste a lot of time talking about the cameras here. So let's instead quickly jump to the innards. Under the hood is the real star of the show here, the Mediatek Helio G90T chip. Now, this is possibly the biggest upgrade the Note 8 Pro has gotten. The Helio G90T is an octa-core chip. It has a couple of powerful A76 cores and 6 power-efficient A55 cores clocked up to 2.05 GHz each. And it's coupled with the Mali G76. Now, that's a quad-core GPU setup, clocked it up to 800 MHz. Now, as you can see, the benchmark performance is pretty good. The real-time gaming performance, as seen in my dedicated gaming review, that was exceptional. The Note 8 Pro had no issues running pretty much any game we threw at it, and the compatibility issues we faced at the time of shooting that video, since this was a MediaTek chip, even they are getting resolved as I predicted in that video. For example, something like Asphalt 9, which wouldn't install back then, that installs and runs quite flawlessly now. The liquid cool technology inside helps avoid throttling and keeps the phone from getting too hot, and with day-to-day use, MIUI 10 on top of Android 9 Pie is what we've gotten here. The G90T runs it like a champ. The user experience feels flagship-like. I've been using the Chinese variant as my primary for about a week now, and I've experienced no slowdowns or lag. It's been pretty snappy, and the Indian variant pretty much feels the same. Now, one thing I was worried about with the Helio G90T was the fact that, it's a 12nm chip, and maybe that's why Redmi upped the battery here to 4500 mAh, because something like the 730G, that's an 8nm chip, right? Now, maybe here the G90T, it drains battery a lot. That's why they had to go to a 4500 mAh battery to keep the battery life similar to what previous Redmi Notes offered. That was a kinda, sorta conspiracy that I had in my head. Maybe that's what they were doing. We've seen MediaTek have idle drain issues in the past, right? Now, I'm glad to say that's not what's happened at all. In my time with this phone, I've not noticed any idle drain issues. This 4500 mAh battery is just a case of Redmi improving the battery life. That's it, no conspiracies here. The battery life on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, it feels better than what it was on the Note 7 Pro. The Helio G90T does really well in this regard. And if you need to top up, there's always the included 18-watt charger in the box, right? So anyway, that's the Redmi Note 8 Pro, the Indian variant. It's mostly something that Redmi's improved upon compared to what was launched in China, with the exception of the removal of NFC. Now, almost everything here, it's a pro. The Alexa integration, the Wideband L1 certification, the dedicated micro SD option, the Google Lens integration, it's all pretty sweet. Now, the only thing I'd like to know is what Redmi is gonna price it at. I've got this phone under embargo, so I don't know the official pricing. Once I get to know it, I will leave a comment below, I will pin it, I will also add it to the description, I will tweet it out. So maybe you can follow me on Twitter. Hey, a quick little, mention. Follow me on Twitter. Now, anyway, what I have with me here is the 8 gig RAM, 128 gig storage version, and that's 128 gigs of UFS 2.1 storage, by the way. That's excellent. Now, since what we need to note here is that this is not a variant that Redmi sells in Europe, meaning India gets the Chinese RAM storage options, or at least that's the way it seems to be. 664, 6128, 8128 are the three variants that Redmi sells in China for approximately 14, 16 and 18,000 rupees. That's not taking into account the Warcraft edition. Now, these are very rough conversions. If Redmi can price the 664 for 15,000 rupees or even 16,000 rupees, then the Note 8 Pro should continue the Note tradition, the Redmi Note tradition of being a disruptive option in the Indian mid-range smartphone segment. Now, what do you guys think? What do you feel about the Redmi Note 8 Pro? Honestly though, I would like to see this come in at 15K or even a little bit more aggressive, given that Realme just announced some of their smartphones. And if you've not seen what they've announced, if you've not heard about them, here's everything you need to know about those phones. And in the meantime, do let me know what you feel about the Note 8 Pro. Do you feel it's a much needed upgrade? What are your thoughts, and what other videos would you like to see about the Note 8 Pro? What would you like to see next? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, we get to the end of this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.